Hey guys, Charles Calloway, financial advisor to small business owners and their teams. Today we're fortunate to be here with my friend Tony DeRico. Man, it was, I think it was like in January, in December of last year, a young man, his name was Patrick White. I had the opportunity to meet him out in business networking and things like that. He was 42 years old, he was an attorney, and he was working with his client, and his client pulled a weapon and shot him, killed him. And then he turned the weapon on himself and killed himself. You guys probably read about this. Patrick White, Riddle Brantley law firm there, out there in, what's the name of the town I'm looking for? Goldsboro. Goldsboro. Mm-hmm. And immediately, one of the first persons I thought of was, first of all, some of my clients and people I do business with in the community that were lawyers. And I was just thinking how they must be really worried about their personal safety as it relates to their workplace, their law firm offices and things like that. And so I immediately thought of my friend, Tony DeRico, because this is something that Tony does for a living. He actually owns a business that he calls STOP. It stands for Strategic Tactics of Protection, LLC. And when they do a couple of things, but among things they teach concealed weapon training. And so I was talking to Tony, and I thought we would discuss maybe 2-3 things people should be thinking about as it relates to being maintaining personal safety in the workplace. And Tony, what do you think about that?
I was moved by that incident as well, as I am by anybody that loses a life, particularly to gun violence. And it's in the last several years, we've seen an increase in gun violence like unprecedented. Mm-hmm. We've now reached the point to where we've had more mass shootings than we have had days in the year. Mm-hmm. And in February, we reached a point to where we had now officially sold more handguns than we actually have citizens of this country.
Wow.
And so it's becoming it has, whether we want to accept it or not, become an issue, and we hear about it on the political fronts and what have you. But one of the key components to that is, the first thing I would say to anyone, workplace particularly, is that you gotta think worst case scenario. So you gotta take some efforts to make sure that you have a plan.
Okay.
Nobody wants to think about having to have a plan what happens if a disgruntled person or a person that just happens to wander in your place at the wrong time, or they may be going through some mental and nervous disorder, or for whatever the cause. Mm-hmm. What happens if they come through those doors?